Hi there and welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be using some alphabet dies to create a word in 3D. I'm also going to be using the Simon Says stamp set Look for the Rainbows, as well as a sentiment from Simon Says Wreath Greetings. So here's the stamp set I'll be using. It's a great stamp set. I just got this. I don't know how I missed this stamp set last year, but I absolutely love it. The versatility of this set is amazing. There's so much you can do with it. I'm going to be using that flower cluster on the top left and coloring that in with some Zig Real Brush markers. I'm also going to be using and cutting up one of the sentiments from this stamp set as well, and we'll get to that one a little bit later. But for now, let's get everything lined up, where I want it to be with my letters, where I want my letters covering my stamp set, and then we'll get to coloring that up. So you can see I love this technique. I love the 3D idea. Here are the other cards I've made. I've made even more using this technique. I just think it's great. It adds so much detail, and it allows me to color, stamp, die cut, and just really use all the techniques that I love using in card making. And I think that's one of the reasons why I love doing it so much. So I'm going to pull out my positioner here, and this is where I'll get everything lined up. I'm also going to be using a couple of the birds from this stamp set as well. I'm going to position them on top of the letters, kind of like they're sitting on top of those 3D letters. But we're gonna do that at the end here. So I've got a really nice impression here. And I'm also using Bristol 300 smooth paper, which works really well with these brush markers. So I really just picked some colors that I like. I have really no training in art or anything like that other than grade school, but I will zoom in here, throw on some music, and I'll catch you on the other side. So I'm all done coloring. Now I'm going to grab my dies, line them up properly. I learned a lesson after I made this card. I was going to make another alphabet die 3D card, and I don't know what was going on. I wasn't thinking, and instead of laying the dies out on my panel and then putting my post-it tape on the dies, I decided to set up the dies on my post-it tape and not bother with lining it up on the panel, but lining it up on the post-it tape and putting it on the die cut and running it through the machine. And what I had done is I had spelled the word you as I was looking at instead of backwards on my post-it tape, ran it through the die machine and realized it as I pulled it off. And I'm like, oh no. So next time I will always be putting the dies on the paper first, then on the post-it tape and lining it up. So that was a bit of a mistake that I did. So it was too bad because I wasted a lot of time and a really good image. Now I'm going to stamp a flower image on the top left of the D there because I feel like I need a little something in that spot. So I'm going to color that the same colors as I did my other flowers. I'm also going to color the birds I'm going to be putting on the card, and while I do that, I'll turn on some music again for you. And we'll finish up this card. So I'm just doing some of the finishing touches here on my 3D letters. I have the birds to adhere to the card front, and I still have my sentiment to put on. So this is the sentiment I'm going to use from Sentiment Wreath Greetings, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting off the word day at the end of that because I only want to use on this special, for obvious reasons that I have day in big 3D letters. I do this quite a bit. I cut up my sentiments all the time. Actually, it's really great. I love that I do it. I've probably done it about 10 times already with my stamps, and you know, knock on wood, I haven't screwed any of them up yet, so that's great. So here it is, guys, all finished up on that special day. So this is, you know, a card you could use for a birthday or any other special day that someone may be having, graduation, even a Father's Day, Mother's Day, whatever you'd like to use it for. Again, I just love making these cards. I love that I can use all of the techniques of die cutting, coloring, stamping. It's just really a fun card to make, and I dare anyone to try it. It's just great. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.